Now, have you ever been 100% sure you understood why something happens in the world? Then one weird question comes along and makes you realize you've been looking at the whole thing backwards. If that's you, this is for you. Because I want to connect with builders who don't just want motivation. You want mental models. You want to see hidden rules of the game. So welcome to me reading books so you don't have to if you so choose. Now today, we're reviewing Freakonomics by Stephen Levitt and Stephen Dubner. And I'm telling you up front, this book isn't just interesting. It's dangerous in a good way because it teaches you how to think like an economist in everyday life. Meaning, it trains your brain to ask, what are the incentives? What are the people really optimizing for? What's the unseen cause behind what everybody thinks is the cause? And I'm going to make this personal because I've used Freakonomics style thinking, whether I called it that or not, while building children of wealth, growing expand clientele, and building systems inside Madar's Healthcare. 3 different businesses, 3 different audiences, but the same truth. If you don't understand incentives, you will misread reality. And if you misread reality, you will build the wrong strategy, even if you're working hard. And Freakonomics is basically a collection of stories that all point to one big idea. Life is full of incentives, and incentives are the cornerstone of modern life. Once you start spotting incentives, you'll start predicting behavior. And once you can predict behavior, you can build better systems, marketing systems, education systems, operational systems, because you're not guessing anymore. Now, here's why this matters to you as an entrepreneur and a builder. Most people, they're going to try to change behavior using motivation or information. But Freakonomics is going to show you that behavior usually changes through incentives. Financial incentives, social incentives, moral incentives, fear-based incentives, or status incentives, even convenience incentives. People will say they want one thing, and then their incentives reveal what they'll actually do. And that's the jaw-dropping lesson you can apply to everything. Freakonomics is one sentence. It's not about knowing more facts. It's about asking better questions. It challenges conventional wisdom. It shows you that common explanations are often wrong or they're incomplete, and the real driver is hidden underneath the surface. Now let me translate that into real business. Children of wealth. Parents don't buy financial literacy. They buy relief, they buy confidence, and they buy a plan. When you're building children of wealth, it's easy to think the main value is teaching kids money. That's true. But Freakonomics would ask, what's the parent's real incentive? A parent's incentive isn't, I want my child to learn compound interest. A parent's incentive is, I don't want my kids to struggle like I did. I want my family to be ahead, and I want to feel like a good parent. It could also be, I want something simple I can actually stick to. Or even, I want my child to be confident, not confused. You see, those incentives are emotional, identity-based, and practical. That's why certain messages convert better than others. When I talk about children of wealth as financial literacy, people nod. But when I frame it as a 10-minute a day to raise a money confident kid, parents are going to lean in because the incentive is true, simplicity, identity, and it's future proofing. And here's a Freakonomics style insight I've learned. You see, parents will say they care about education, but their action reveal their incentives. If the process feels complicated, they stall. If it feels easy, they'll act. So the product and the messaging have to align with the incentive. Convenience plus confidence plus clear next steps. That's why story-based books work so well. They reduce friction. They make the right behavior easy. And expand clientele, another one. Well, business owners, they don't want marketing. They want certainty and control. Now let's talk expand clientele. If you're in the marketing world, you'll hear clients say, I need more leads. Freakonomics will say, that's what they say, but what do they mean? Often they mean, I'm scared revenue is unstable, or I hate not knowing where the next customer is coming from, or even I'm tired of missed calls and no follow-up, or I don't trust my team to handle leads. And then you have, I feel out of control. So the incentive isn't leads, the incentive is certainty, it's control, it's predictability, it's peace of mind. And that's why systems convert. A marketing service feels vague, but a client-generating machine that captures leads, follow-ups automatically, and books appointments, well, that matches the incentive. Certainty through automation. And this is why Go High Level is such a weapon in expand clientele. It supports the real incentive, removes uncertainty by building a pipeline that shows what's happening, and automation that ensures follow-ups happen even when the owner is busy. And Freakonomics teach you to stop selling what you do and start selling what the customer's incentives are demanding. And with Doris Healthcare, well, that's another animal because families don't want services. They want safety, navigation, and trust. And with Doris Healthcare is also where incentives become even more serious. When the family needs skilled nursing for their child, the incentive isn't not just get help, it's keep my child safe. Have someone who understands. It's also, don't let paperwork stop care. Be guided, not judged. Or even have consistency and communication. The incentive is trust and navigation, and the system has to match that incentive. If your intake process is confusing, families feel abandoned. If communication is inconsistent, families lose trust. And if follow-up is slow, well, families are going to panic. So Freakonomics thinking is going to push you to design operation around incentives, fast reassurance, clear steps, consistent touch points, or even predictable progress. That's why pipeline, checklists, and automations aren't corporate. They're compassion, and they reduce stress. The Freakonomics superpower is this: follow the incentives and you will predict behavior. Now let's talk about the biggest concepts in Freakonomics that drills into your head and how they apply to business. Number one is incentives are everywhere. People respond to incentives even when they don't admit it, even when they think they're being rational, even when they think they're being moral. You can design better offers, better systems, and better messaging when you understand which incentives drive action. In Children of Wealth, incentives equal an easy family routine, plus pride, plus future security. In Expand Clientele, incentives will equal predictive pipeline, plus less manual work, plus more control. And in Mudar's Healthcare, incentives will equal safety, plus trust, plus guided process. Number two, people respond to what is measured and rewarded. In business, whatever you measure becomes what people prioritize. If your team is measured on activity instead of outcomes, you'll get busy work. But if it's measured on conversions, you'll get focus. And that's Freakonomics thinking applied internally. Now, number three, information alone doesn't change behavior. This is huge because you can teach people all day if the incentives don't change. Behaviors don't change. And that's why education brands must be simple, repeatable, and emotionally resonant. That's why automation systems win, because they change behavior through structure. Now, here's how I connect Freakonomics directly to implementation. If incentives drive behavior, then systems must make behavior consistent. And Go High Level is going to help you create a structure where the right action happens automatically. You see, a lead comes in, And then there's an immediate response, which is speed to leave incentive. Or you could have a missed call and then an automatic text back, which is convenience incentive. Or even a new contact, which is a nurture sequence, which is a trust incentive. And you also have your appointment book to go to reminders, which is a show up incentives. Then you have your pipeline stages visible to clarity. And then you have your old leads to reactivation campaign. That's a second chance incentive. That's not just marketing automation. That's incentive design. In expand clientele, that's how clients get consistent appointments. In children of wealth, that's how parents stay engaged and eventually buy. And in Mudar's healthcare, that's how communication stays reliable and families feel supported. Now, here's the big takeaway. Freakonomics gives you, and it's the line I want you to remember as a builder. If you can identify the incentives, you can understand the behavior. And if you can understand the behavior, you can design the system. That's how you stop guessing. That's how you stop blaming people for not caring. And that's how you stop working harder and start working smarter. Because most of the time, people aren't lazy. They're just responding to incentives, convenience, fear, status, comfort, and uncertainty. Your job as a leader is to design around that reality. If you want this book that will upgrade what you think forever, grab Freakonomics using the link below, because it will sharpen your mind, challenge your assumptions, and give you frameworks you can use in business, parenting, leadership, and life. And if you want to build systems that create consistent results, pipelines, follow-ups, nurturing, bookings, and tracking, use my exclusive Go High Level link in the description to start your trial and build a machine that aligns incentives with action. Both links are below. Use them. And if you want more episodes of me reading books so you don't have to, if you so choose, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and make sure you like this, because next time we're breaking down another book that will make you smarter, sharper, and more dangerous in the best way. And I'll see you guys on the next one.